$5 million divorce. In my previous life, I tore up the check and left with nothing, ending up broke, watching helplessly as the jerk ran off with her money. This time around, I grinned and held up 5 fingers. You're my true love, gotta pay more. Her face turned ashen. Michael Thompson, don't push it. I turned to her old flame and said, Hey, Chris, she won't even shell out $50 million. Guess you're not worth that much to her, huh? I stared at the check in front of me, the number glaringly familiar, $5 million, just like in my past life. This was the day Jessica Miller's old flame came back into the picture. Jessica stood before me, makeup flawless, her Chanel suit making her skin look even fairer. Beside her was that guy, Chris Johnson, sharp in a suit, every inch the elite. In my last life, this scene had burned my eyes, and in a rage, I ripped up the check and walked away with nothing. Michael Thompson, let's part on good terms. Jessica's voice was ice cold. This $5 million is enough for you to start over. I took a deep breath, savoring the strange thrill of being reborn. This time, I wouldn't repeat the same mistake. I slowly raised 5 fingers, flashing a bright smile. Jessica, you're my true love, gotta pay more, at least $50 million. Her face changed in an instant. Michael Thompson, don't push it. I caught Chris's expression stiffen slightly. I knew this guy too well from my past life, polished on the outside, drowning in debt on the inside, coasting by on his image in high society. I turned to Chris, feigning shock. Chris, maybe you should forget her. She won't even cough up $50 million. Clearly thinks you're not worth it. Chris's face flushed red. Michael, what do you mean by that? Not much, I shrugged. Jessica loves you so much she'd ditch her marriage for you. Yet she won't spend $50 million. Isn't that a slap in your face? Jessica trembled with fury. Michael Thompson, stop stirring up trouble. I blinked innocently. Stirring trouble? Did I get it wrong? A guy as great as Chris, and $50 million's too much. Chris took the bait, clearing his throat. Jessica, actually Michael's got a point. Chris. Jessica stared at him in disbelief. How could you? I chuckled to myself. In my last life, I was too dumb, reacting with anger and pride, ending up with nothing. This time, I'd use their weaknesses against them. All right, I said, playing generous. For the sake of our 3 years as husband and wife, I'll give you a discount, $48 million, no less. Jessica gritted her teeth. In your dreams. Fine then. I turned to leave. I'll go chat with the media about the Miller Group heiress dumping her husband for love. Should fetch a nice price. Wait. Jessica panicked. When did you get so smart? I finished for her. Jessica, people grow, especially after dying once. She didn't catch my hidden meaning, just glared at me fiercely. $20 million, that's my bottom line. Million installment plan, $45 million installment plan, $20 million up front, the rest within a year. I shot back. I'll crash your dad's 60th birthday party with a sob story right now. Jessica went pale. Her father, Robert Miller, cared about family reputation above all. If I made a scene at his big bash. Deal, she spat through clenched teeth. I smiled and stuck out my hand. Pleasure doing business. Oh, and the house is mine. You can take your designer bags, but the jewelry stays. Those are my gifts. Chris stood there, jaw dropped, clearly not expecting this turn of events. Jessica scribbled a check and flung it at me. $20 million up front, the rest as agreed. Now, immediately, to the courthouse. I caught the check gracefully and kissed it. As you wish, my soon-to-be ex-wife. Stepping outside, I glanced back at the woman who once made me feel worthless and the shallow guy beside her, my heart lighter than ever. This time, I wouldn't waste tears on someone who didn't deserve them. The courthouse paperwork went surprisingly smooth. Jessica kept her face cold the whole time, while Chris shot me weird looks, probably baffled why things didn't go his way. After signing the last form, I stretched lazily. All right, from now on, we're the most familiar strangers. Jessica snorted. I hope you live well with that money. Thanks to you, it's a hell of a lot better than walking away empty-handed, I said with a grin. Oh, Chris, heard your investment projects in the financial district are tanking lately. Chris's face shifted. How do you know that? Just a hunch, I shrugged. If you're letting a woman front $50 million, you must be strapped for cash. Jessica frowned. Michael Thompson, cut the crap. Time will tell if it's crap, I said, gathering my papers and turning with a swagger. Wishing you two happiness, for real. Outside the courthouse, the sun was perfect. I breathed deep, tasting freedom. In my last life, I moped for a year after the divorce until I saw on the news that Jessica and Chris split. He'd taken a chunk of her cash and bolted overseas. This time, I not only scored what I deserved, I planted doubt in Chris's head early. My stomach growled, so I decided to treat myself. I hadn't had a decent meal since coming back. I stepped into a cozy cafe and ordered a loaded brunch platter. As I dug in, a bright voice piped up beside me. Michael Thompson? Is that really you? I looked up to see a young woman with a ponytail and an apron, her eyes sparkling. You're Emily Parker? I recognized her, Jessica's college bestie, someone I'd only met a handful of times in my past life. Wow, you actually remember me. Emily beamed, then lowered her voice. I just saw the news. You and Jessica got divorced. I raised an eyebrow. News? That quick? The city's finance gossip page just posted it, she said, pulling out her phone. The headline blared, Miller Group heiress's pricey divorce. Ex-husband nets $45 million. I laughed under my breath. Bet Chris sold the story. So it's true. Emily's eyes widened. Jessica really paid you? Trade secret, I said, zipping my lips, then cracked a smile. But since it's out there. Yeah, she shelled out that much. Emily plopped down across from me. Holy crap. You know how pissed Jessica is? She just sent 20 voice messages trashing you in our group chat. Flattered, I said, sipping my coffee. Want some cake to celebrate? My treat. Emily tilted her head. You've changed. You never used to crack jokes. You were always so stiff. Divorce does wonders, I said, half serious. Honestly, she whispered, I always thought you and Jessica didn't fit. She's too controlling, and you were too, tame. Now you can call me too sharp, I said with a grin, correcting her. Emily perked up. Wait, where are you living now? Jessica must have kicked you out, right? The house is mine, per the agreement, I said smugly. But I need a temporary spot till she clears out her stuff. You can stay at my place. Emily blurted, then blushed hard. I mean, there's an empty apartment above my cafe. It's part of the property, nice vibe, fair price. I watched her fluster, amused. Ms. Parker, are you renting me a place? Yes, renting. She nodded fast. First month's free just to celebrate your freedom. I couldn't help laughing. Well, I won't say no, but free's not necessary. I'm loaded now. Emily stuck out her tongue. Tens of millions are peanuts to the Millers. But she got serious. Be careful. Jessica won't let this go easy. I know, I nodded. This time I'm ready. She studied me for a sec, then stuck out her hand. Allies. I shook it. Allies. And just like that, on my first day divorced, I scored a bubbly new ally. In my past life, Emily barely registered. Now I saw she was genuine and fun. Maybe being reborn wasn't just about rewriting my fate. It was about spotting the good I'd missed. Next morning, my phone wouldn't quit ringing. Seeing Mom on the screen warmed me up. In my last life, I avoided my parents for 3 months after the divorce, only to learn later they'd heard from neighbors and nearly called the cops in a panic. Hey, Mom, I answered. Michael Thompson. Her voice was frantic and mad. I just heard from Mrs. Wilson at the farmer's market that you and Jessica split. You didn't tell us something this huge. It just went through yesterday. I was going to come tell you today, I said gently. Your dad's blood pressure's through the roof, she said, choking up. Get home right now. All right, I'm on my way. I hung up, sighing. My folks always liked Jessica, thinking I'd lucked into a rich girl. Last time, when they found out I'd torn up the check and left empty-handed, they were crushed and furious. Dad even got sick over it. This time, I had to set them at ease. An hour later, I stood at their door. The bell barely rang before Dad yanked it open, his face grim. Come in, he said shortly. In the living room. Mom sat on the couch, eyes red, gossip mag spread on the coffee table with me, and Jessica's divorce splashed across the covers. Dan, I started, but Dad cut me off. $45 million? You took $45 million from the Millers. His voice shook. We Thompsons aren't rich, but we don't do shameful stuff like this. Honey, Mom grabbed his arm. Let him explain. Dad, correction, it's $45 million cash. I got the house too. I took a deep breath and pulled a folder from my bag. Look at this first. Dad took it, skeptical. Inside were files I'd put together on Chris Johnson, his debt record from Japan, lawsuits from companies, and a timeline of him cozying up to Jessica. What's this? Jessica's old flame, a total con, I said calmly. Last life. I dug into it. He's drowning in debt, preying on rich women. Mom gasped. Does Jessica know? She's too love-struck to believe it now, I said with a wry smile. This money's not just for me. It's a lesson for her. Dad flipped through the papers, his face softening. So you knew. I knew she had someone else, but not how low he'd go, I said quietly. Sorry for worrying you guys. I'm not greedy. I just wanted what's mine. Mom jumped up and hugged me. Silly boy, we just didn't want you hurt. Dad sighed, clapping my shoulder. You did right. We Thompsons don't start trouble, but we don't take it either. My chest warmed. Last time, I'd clung to pride and hurt the ones who loved me most. Now, I'd learned to be real with them. By the way, I said, Dad, can you do me a favor? What's that? Pretend you're sick. I winked. Real sick. 2 hours later, Robert Miller, my ex-father-in-law, called. Looked like my parents nailed the plan. Michael. Robert sounded awkward. I heard your dad's real bad off. Jessica just told me you two, split. Yeah, Mr. Miller, I said, voice heavy. Doc says it's a sudden stroke, maybe tied to the divorce news. He went quiet for a beat. Jessica's too headstrong. I shouldn't meddle in you kid stuff, but now. Can I visit your dad? Sure, Mr. Miller. I hit a smirk. Don't blame Jessica, though. She just found true love. I hit true love hard, and Robert got even more flustered. I'll be right there. I flashed Dad an okay sign as he munched an apple on the couch. No trace of stroke. Old Miller's coming over. Dad raised an eyebrow. Yup, with his darling daughter and her true love. I grinned. Mom peeked from the kitchen. Should I whip up a goodbye dinner? Perfect, Mom. I gave a thumbs up. Make it big. Show Jessica the Thompsons thrive without the Millers. Dad burst out laughing. Atta boy. You're finally acting like a Thompson. Used to be all meek around Jessica. Drove me nuts. I scratched my head sheepish. Yeah, last life, I bent over backward for Jessica, even shrinking around her family, forgetting I was my parents' pride and joy. The doorbell rang. I took a breath and opened it. There stood a sheepish Robert Miller, a sulky Jessica, and a fake calm Chris. Mr. Miller, come in, I said politely, then raised my voice at Jessica. Thanks for checking on Dad, Jessica. Even though we're divorced, he'll be thrilled you came. Jessica's face went red, half embarrassment, half anger. Chris shifted uncomfortably, his slick vibe from yesterday gone. Robert shot his daughter a hard look and strode into the living room. Old Thompson, heard you're sick. How bad is it? Dad went full actor, slumping weakly. Old Miller, it's fine. Just got upset. Kids these days. Us old folks. Cough, cough. Mom handed him water, right on cue. Doc says rest, no stress. Robert was drowning in guilt. All Jessica's fault for being reckless. Don't worry, old Thompson. We'll cover the medical bills. No need, I cut in. The divorce payout's plenty. Jessica was generous. $45 million cash. Robert clearly hadn't known the number, staring at his daughter. $45 million? Jessica bit her lip, silent, while Chris's face twitched. Dad, Jessica snapped. Michael Thompson blackmailed me. Blackmail? I spread my hands. It was a fair deal, right, Chris? Chris wasn't ready for me to call him out, mumbling nothing. Robert glanced between me and Chris, his eyes cooling. And this is Chris Johnson, Jessica's college buddy, fresh from Japan, I said cheerfully. Big project in the financial district, huh, Chris? Chris was sweating. Yeah. Enough. Jessica cut us off. Dad, let's go. Uncle Thompson needs rest. Go where? Robert barked. With him this sick. How can we leave? He turned to Mom. Mrs. Thompson, anything we can help with, just say. Mom smiled. I just made dinner. Let's eat together. So, with my perfect setup, Jessica and Chris got stuck at an awkward-as-hell goodbye dinner. Dad coughed weakly now and then, Robert piling food on his plate out of guilt. I kept pouring Chris wine, grilling him about his big projects. Chris turned red-faced and sloppy from the drinks, his words a mess. Robert's frown deepened, and Jessica squirmed. When Chris dodged the fifth question about his company's name, Robert snapped. Mr. Johnson, what's your company called? I've got friends in Tokyo. Maybe they can help. Chris's fork hit the floor with a clatter. I nearly bust a gut holding in my laughter. This was just the start, dear Chris. 3 days post-divorce, I moved into the apartment above Emily Parker's cafe. It was more of a roomy, bright loft, simple and cozy, with a killer view of the city skyline. This place is awesome, I said, dropping my bags and looking around. How much is rent? Emily handed me a pour-over coffee. Market's $8,000, but I'll knock off 20% for you. I took the coffee, eyebrow up. Didn't you say first month free? That was yesterday's deal. Expired, she said with a sly wink. Besides, you're sitting on millions now. You care about pocket change? I shook my head, grinning. Parker, you're a business whiz. Oh, check this out, she said, pulling out her phone and opening a local forum. The top post screamed, Deep dive into Miller heiress's divorce. Underdog strikes gold. It broke down how I'd smartly nabbed a fair chunk from Jessica, complete with screenshots of Chris Johnson's Japan debt records. My eyes popped. Who posted this? No clue, but it's everywhere, Emily said, nibbling her lip. Jessica's gonna flip when she sees it. Right then, my phone rang. Robert Miller. Mr. Miller. Michael. Robert sounded worn out. You see that forum post? Just did, but I didn't post it. I know it's not you, he sighed. Chris Johnson. Is it true? I paused. You checked. Got a friend in Tokyo to dig, Robert said, voice icy. He owes at least 500 million yen, sued by 3 banks. He's after Jessica for her money. I didn't expect Robert to move that fast. Mr. Miller, what's your plan? I've banned Jessica from seeing him, he said, then paused. Michael, Jessica did you wrong before. The Millers owe you an apology. You're too kind, Mr. Miller, I said quietly. Love's not about right or wrong. After hanging up, Emily gave me a gossipy look. Old Miller said sorry? Yeah, I nodded. He's got Chris's number now. Emily clapped, laughing. Serve her right. Jessica totally blew it. She stopped short. But, you sad? You were together 3 years. I walked to the window, staring at the city's edge. I'd be lying if I said no. But mostly I'm free. I turned with a smile. You know, starting fresh feels damn good. Emily tilted her head. Did you almost say reborn? Slip up. I dodged. Hey, your cafe need investors? I've got cash burning a hole in my pocket. Her eyes lit up. For real? I want to open a second spot. And just like that, I sidestepped her radar. But Emily's sharp, I had me sweating. Almost blowing my cover wasn't cool. That afternoon, I hit the gym to burn off steam. I just changed into workout gear when my phone rang. An unknown number. Hello. Michael Thompson. Happy now? The whole city knows I got played. Dad froze my cards. I hit speaker, tying my shoes slow. Jessica, I didn't post it. Who else knows about Chris? She said, voice cracking. You trashed my love life. Me? I snorted. You dumped your husband for a scammer, sweetheart. She went quiet, then. How'd you know he's a scammer? Crap, slipped again. Emily told me. I improvised. Her cousin's a lawyer in Tokyo, easy to check. Emily Parker? Jessica's tone spiked. Since when are you too tight? Met her after the divorce. I said, poking her. She's cool. Makes killer coffee. You. Jessica choked, speechless. Michael Thompson, stay away from my friend. Ex-wife, we're done. You don't get to pick my buddies, I said breezily. Oh, thank Chris for me. Without him, I'd be broke. Jerk, she shrieked, hanging up. I headed to the gym in high spirits. Downstairs, a familiar Porsche was parked curbside. Jessica stormed out, blocking me. We need to talk, she said, yanking off her sunglasses, eyes red from crying. I checked my watch. 10 minutes. I've got a workout. That post wasn't you. Nope. I met her gaze. Though it's all true. Chris, he really owes that much. 500 million yen, under $2. 5 million, I shrugged. Chump change for your family, but a fortune to most. Jessica paled. He said he's got real estate in the financial district. He's in the district a lot. I jabbed, for gambling and hookups. She snapped her head up. How do you know? Almost blew it again. Emily's cousin dug it up. He's got a rap sheet there. Jessica grabbed my arm. Michael, I might have screwed up. I eased my arm free. Jessica, the papers are signed. But I was fooled, she pressed. We could. No, I cut her off. Jessica, you never loved me. You married me because your folks pushed, and I was the easy fallback. She stared, stunned. How'd you? No. I gave a bitter smile. I see it now. 3 years. I've been over backwards. So pathetic I couldn't stand myself. Now, I'm Michael Thompson again. Her eyes welled up, so no chance to fix this. Before I could answer, a cheery voice broke in. Michael, you forgot your protein shake. Emily bounced over, handing me a shaker, then fake surprise. Oh, Jessica? Small world. Jessica glared between us, face darkening. You two? Living together? Yeah. I rented the place above her cafe. I said, taking the shaker. Thanks, almost forgot. Emily patted my shoulder. No biggie. Come try the new menu tonight. She nodded at Jessica. Drop by for coffee sometime. Jessica, 20% off. She sauntered off, leaving Jessica fuming, her face a mess of colors. Seems you're doing fine, Jessica said. I see. Not bad. I roll my shoulders. Jessica, let the past go. You're a catch. Plenty of fish out there. She stared, then, what if Dad makes me remarry you? I laughed. You won't? When's Jessica Miller ever taken orders? She froze, then cracked a smile. You know me better now? Divorce grows you up? I waved. Off to the gym. A few steps out, she yelled. Michael Thompson, I'm not giving up. I didn't turn, just threw up a thumbs up. No more dancing to Jessica's tune. Being reborn wasn't just a fate redo. It was my shot to reclaim myself. Back from the gym, I just showered when the doorbell rang. Emily stood there with 2 plates of spaghetti. Hungry, she waved them. New cafe special. Try it. I let her in, grabbing a plate. Thanks, I'm starved. Emily scanned my loft. You settled in fast. Looks homey already. Not much to unpack, just clothes and a laptop, I said, chowing down. This is good. She grinned. Secret recipe. Then hesitated. So, what did Jessica say today? Asked if I posted that thread and how I knew about Chris. I said, sipping water. Almost slipped up. Emily frowned. She didn't catch on, right? Said your cousin found out. I winked. Sorry. Used you as cover. No worries. She won't check with me. She waved off. But, she seemed down. I leaned back. Feeling bad for your gal pal? No way. Emily rolled her eyes. Just curious. Jessica's always had it all. Never seen her eat humble pie. I leaned in. It's not humble pie, just bruised ego. I used to jump when she said jump. Now I don't. And she's thrown. Emily studied me. You really get her. 3 years of marriage weren't for nothing, I said with a dry laugh. But now I see it wasn't real. I was her fancy maid and shield. Emily leaned in. So, you still love her? The question hit me. Last life, I wallowed after the split. But now, staring into Emily's big eyes, Jessica didn't stir a thing. Nope, I said soft. Like you said, we never fit. Her eyes sparkled. Then she played it cool, sitting back. Good. Good you're over it. We finished eating in quiet. As Emily grabbed the plates to go, she spun back. Oh, there's a business mixer tomorrow. Want to come? Business mixer? Yeah, local chamber thing. Jessica'll be there, she smirked. Let's rattle her cage? I cracked up. Ms. Parker, that's some fake friendship. Not fake, she pouted. I just think you should show up. Let folks see Jessica's ex is a star. Not some dumped loser. I mulled it over. Okay, I'm in. Not to bud Jessica. I want a network. Planning to invest some of that cash. Emily flashed a V sign. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. I'll grab you. Dress sharp. Next night, I stood in a navy suit, feeling off. Last life, I rarely hit these gigs. Jessica thought I wasn't classy enough. The bell rang. Emily was there in a champagne gown, hair up, a total shift from her usual chill vibe. Wow, I whistled. Ms. Parker's a knockout tonight. She twirled. Like it? Rented this for $2,000. Worth every penny, I said honest. Let's roll, Cinderella. The mixer was at a downtown 5-star hotel ballroom. Right inside, I spotted Jessica in her signature black gown, chatting up business types. She froze when she saw me with Emily. Ignore her. Emily hooked my arm. Be cool. Let's meet some heavy hitters. For half an hour, Emily worked the room, pitching me as an up-and-coming investor. She was a pro, smooth and poised, not the goofy cafe girl I knew. Emily, I whispered, what's your deal? She grinned mysteriously. Later, mid-chat with a real estate guy, Jessica strolled up. Mr. Wong, she said smoothly, then gave me and Emily a frosty once-over. Fancy seeing you. Ms. Miller. Mr. Wong lit up. Just heard Mr. Thompson's take on the East Side plot. Sharp stuff. You two were married, right? Power duo. Jessica's face locked. Mr. Wong, you're kidding, we're divorced? I jumped in easy. But business is business. Mr. Wong, that plan I mentioned, the Miller Group's keen too. Right, Jessica? Jessica blanked. What plan? The East Side new area and eco park combo. I bluffed coolly. Didn't you say your dad's into it? Mr. Wong perked up. For real? Awesome. Ms. Miller, dinner's soon to hash it out. Jessica couldn't back out. Sure. Once Mr. Wong stepped off for a drink, Jessica wheeled on me. Michael Thompson, what's your game? Landing you a deal, I said, all innocent. That land's got legs. Your dad'll bite. How do you know about East Side? It's not even public, she said, eyes narrow. Almost tripped up. Guessed I covered. City Hall buddy dropped a hint. Emily piped up. Jessica, Michael's helping. That plot's hot, Mr. Wong's just one player. Jessica eyed us, then laughed. Got it. You're screwing with me. Make me look dumb, then play savior, so I'm all grateful. Think what you want, I shrugged. The opportunity's legit. Your call on teaming up. She stared, then tomorrow, 10 a.m. Miller Group boardroom. Bring your full pitch. She walked off. Emily gaped. She's setting a business date? Yup, I sipped champagne. Plan worked. Hold up. Emily grabbed me. When do you prep a pitch? Tonight, pulling an all-nighter, I grinned. I scoped East Side land a while back, got ideas. Emily shook her head. Michael Thompson, you're blowing my mind. Post-mixer, we hit the cafe. Late as it was, Emily stuck around to help with the pitch. You're a real estate whiz, she said, eyeing my sketches. Know a little, I downplayed. Truth was, post-divorce last life, I'd gone into real estate consulting, picked up a ton. At 3 a.m., we finished. Emily was out cold on the table. I draped my jacket over her, watching her sleep, a soft glow hitting me. Being reborn wasn't just fate's fix. It gave me eyes for the good stuff nearby. Emily, barely a blip before, was now my rock.